Orange Green. About weapons. Dear whomever has just moved from the Kooni stage into the Soodi stage. Until now, you have started obtaining your first color, your private core code, in addition to your name. And it is the time to choose the weapons that will protect you from those wishing to steal your energy, and protect you from being small prey for creatures larger than you with greater energy levels. You have to choose what suits your color, size, and the class to which you belong. For me, I belong until this moment to two possibilities, according to the classification in the primary region. Either the third class, which is orange-blue, or the sixth and higher class, which is orange-green. Since hopefully I started gaining orange, which in turn is a strong indication of the class I belong to, and I hope to be from the upper class, the sixth class. At that time, I did not know to which class I would belong, because it depends on the second color I will get as a Yoddi. I have to be smart in order to choose what suits the two classes. Surely the weapons of the sixth and upper classes are more powerful than the rest. Therefore, you have to plan well for this choice, and you have several possibilities from which to choose. Choosing the appropriate weapons for the third class, which contain less energy and power related to my possibilities according to the classification. But the main risk is that if I reach the sixth class, this weapon will not work with a high vibration level and a huge amount of energy. Or I may choose the weapons of the sixth and last class, which are the most powerful, but may exceed my potential if I belong to the third class, and therefore will harm me and will not protect me anymore. So, the most appropriate and logical option is to choose weapons which are intermediate between the two classes, but which unfortunately do not exist. Let me tell you about the classification of weapons in the primary region. Yes, everything is subject to classification here. As I told you before, the two main factors of classification for everything and anything are energy and vibration. But with weapons, there is an additional important and crucial factor, which is time. So it is important to collect time particles, which in some way combine with the weapon and give it the power to be strong and effective. It's really something so subtle that you will be confused about collecting the right time particles, which are also categorized. But one thing that will help you choose is your private core code. Here, you begin to realize the importance of having your private core code, which is given to you at the beginning of your gaining the first color, the stage of transition from Kooni to Soodi, where its presence is not in vain. It helps you choose what is right and suitable for you, whether sources of feeding, particles of all kinds, as well as other things related to your trip toward becoming a Yoddi. It's something like your brain, but it's accurate, direct, and clear. Returning to the classification of weapons, there are 3 main groups with branches inside. As a Soodi, you have the right to choose only one from each group, as long as the total does not exceed what you have in terms of energy and vibrations. But for the time particles, you need a large amount. Collect what you can of it and keep it for when you need it, since it is extremely necessary while using a weapon. The 3 main groups are parts of the forces that keep away those who try to control you and reveal your private core code. This is their main and only goal currently for weapons in the primary region. Since the attack from your side has special cases that you do not perform alone, but rather with a huge number of creatures to repel aggression from outside the primary region, this defensive use right now is what's important to you. To know the 3 forces available in the primary region, let's define them by names first, then their effects, and finally their influence. The first force is attraction. It works at the level of particles and creatures, and is used to attract particles and other creatures if you have the energy for that, so you can get what you want by attracting them. It applies to near and far distances. And the same for the second force, repulsion, which also works at the level of particles and creatures, and is used to keep the particles or creatures away. The third and final force, the strongest and most dangerous, is the power of radiation, in which a large amount of energy is consumed. It works at the level of the substance of the particles and creatures, where exposure to it for a long period or repetitively will lead to disappearance. The third force requires a great amount of wisdom and accuracy, as it can lead to huge losses to creatures and particles, and may lead to an imbalance in the region. Thus, the primary region is affected by it for this reason. There are very few creatures that choose to grant it, and they are from the Yoddi class, and possess particles of wisdom and puberty with a certain number. Yes, everything in the primary region has a determination, and the required level must be reached to be granted a force or a weapon. Otherwise, you will not get anything and will live on the sidelines, as only a number with a limited amount of energy. The details of these forces and their branches of weapons which emanate from them, and how to select them, this is what we will talk about next time. See you soon.